Let's make some coffee. Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Hello, hello. We have two special guests today. Secret Husband and Secret Baby are coming to book club. Wowie zowie, we're so lucky. It's very exciting. They're here to make adorable cooing sounds, I assume. What? Oh, is she doing them already? Oh. I only heard, I don't know what I heard. But we Isn't that funny? I thought that was a pretty funny little cartoon. I know, isn't this funny? Secret Husband bought me this for Christmas. Isn't this a funny shirt? The milk shirt, the fresh milk, support your local dairy farmer. Yes, I am the local dairy farmer as far as... What? I love it. It's pretty funny. As far as Secret Baby is concerned, I am the local dairy farmer. She knows of no other farmers. She knows of no other farmers, just mommy. I am so, yes, he does have a very good sense of humor, yes. This one says fresh milk daily, and this one says always on tap. It's pretty funny. Pretty funny. All right. Hello. You guys want to hear something funny? So I don't know if you saw, but over on my book account, I posted just like me reading the intro to this book in case anyone was interested. And I guess my aunt saw it. And she texted me in the middle of the night last night how she loved watching me read the intro to the Once and Future Witches, and she thinks I should do their audiobook for them. Philomena. Yeah, she said, I love that. And I was like, oh yeah, it's a great book. You should totally read it. And she was like, yes, but I want you to do the audiobook. I was like, okay. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. I was like, all right, I'll contact them right away about that, and I'll see if they want to hire me. It's pretty funny. It was just a sweet. She's a very sweet and supportive aunt. So oh, bless you again. We think that Secret Baby has my photic sneeze reflex. Oh, thank you, Roxy. I appreciate that. So if any of you don't know, I have what's called photic sneeze reflex, where any changes in light or bright lights cause me to sneeze. It's a genetic thing. It doesn't hurt you or anything. It's just like weird. And usually it only happens in light-eyed people, but I am one of those rare brown-eyed people who got it. Secret Baby, however, does have blue eyes, but it seems like your partner has it, Jen. Yeah, I think it's about 14% of the population is what they say have it. What? She's smiling because I'm talking about her. She has blue eyes. That being said, I think she got my sneeze reflex. Your husband's actually... I used to joke that I was allergic to the sun. I used to tell people that before I knew the name photic sneeze reflex. I used to just say, oh, I'm allergic to the sun. I'm not actually allergic to the sun. I just sneeze because of the light. But I'm going to take this to Secret Husband. I'll be right back. Here you go, sweetheart. Good. Someone's very happy. Yeah, you ate a lot last night. You should be happy. You should be happy. She ate so many foods. That's what he does. He sneezes because of the light. Oh, yeah, it's called photic sneeze reflex. Yeah, that's exactly what it's called. Baby's eye colors fully develop around 9 months. Yes, that is totally true, Nicole, and it is possible that her eyes could change color, but the majority of her genetics do have blue eyes, so it reasons to believe that she probably will. Yeah, she she will probably keep her blue eyes because currently they are exactly the same color as her dad's. So it seems likely. I was born with brown eyes, with these exact brown eyes. So we assumed if she was going to get brown eyes, she'd be born with it. Yeah, hers are not, they're not bright. They're very deep, actually. They look a lot like her dad's. But almost all her grandparents, no, she has my ears. Almost all her grandparents have blue eyes. My mom's her only brown-eyed grandparent. So, yeah. You're actually allergic to the sun? Oh my gosh, that must be really hard. I'm not actually allergic to the sun. I just do the sneeze thing. Yeah, it's totally possible for baby's eyes to turn brown. My goddaughter was born with blue eyes, and now she does not have blue eyes. So that's totally possible. But my goddaughter's grandparents almost all have brown eyes. So we think Secret Baby, having so many blue-eyed grandparents, she probably genetically will keep them. Though we don't really know. They are beautiful either way, and they have not shown any signs of changing. So, we'll see. We shall see. But it is true. Natasha's eyes did change. They did. They went brown. She started with blue eyes when she was little. She was like real light blue eyes, that little one. Oh, thank you, Isabella. That's very sweet. Your mom has brown eyes. And yeah, you only got one brown-eyed kid. Oh, yeah. Oh, geez. Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's set this up. We're going to read. It's going to be good. His secret has been commenting in the background. I'm not used to him being awake. But yeah, that is him. Yeah, you were hearing him. Yep. He's awake. He's holding the little princess. I'm betting she keeps her eye color, but her hair will lighten. That's what my sister thinks, actually, Ray. My sister believes that her hair will lighten. I don't know, because right now it is literally exactly how my hair color is. So, I don't know. Your daughter only has one blue-eyed grandparent, and she got blue eyes. Really? Oh, she has... Oh, wait. What was the question, Roxy? I'm sorry. Yeah, maybe, Liz. I mean, my hair never lightened, so... It's possible that hers won't because, well, I mean, now I've got little like white streaks in it because I'm an old lady, but generally speaking, it's really dark. That's, I mean, like this. Does sand from Michaels work for slime? Yes. Sand from Michaels, that's pretty much what I use almost exclusively. Not entirely. I have ordered some other sand when I needed colors that Michaels didn't carry, but Michaels makes great sand for slime. Yes, 100%. Yeah. And sometimes their sand is on super sale. Snatch it up. Get that stuff while it's on sale. Yes. I'm happily embracing the gray sparkles. Yeah, who said that, Amanda? Someone said that I had sparkles, and I was like, I like that. I'll take that. I have sparkles in my hair. I'm into it. Cam was born with jet black hair, turned reddish around 1 month, and then blonde and brown. That's interesting. Most of the nephews and nieces that we have on Secret Husband's side are blonde, but a few of them looked like they might be strawberry blonde when they were very little, and then it didn't happen. Yeah. We didn't know what it was going to be. Well, sure, of course, but I'm talking about like the blonde ones. Mostly the blonde ones looked like there might be a tint of red to them. Their mom does have red hair though, so but then they went platinum blonde. But they do live in a very sunny place, so that could be part of it as well. Yeah. Who's to say? Who's to say? All right. Yes, my grays are unicorn sparkles. We can say that. Oh, sprinkles. Okay, which one? Whichever. Sparkles, sprinkles. I'll take them all. Okay. We are. What?
I grabbed her hand and she smiled.
Aw, sweet baby. Are you happy you hold hands with Dada? Yeah. Okay. Good job. She is. She ate plenty last night, so she should be a happy lady. Yes, last night was a new night for us where we ate for 1 hour straight and Mommy was very tired, but then we slept for a long time, so that was nice too. You were born with straight black hair and then turned blonde and curly. Whoa. I mean, I guess it's possible. A lot of her cousins do have blonde curly hair on both sides, so it could happen. It could happen. Yeah. All right, well, let's read. Here we go. Are you ready, my sweet?
We are ready to hear about which is getting the vote.
All right. Well, maybe they will, maybe they won't. We don't know yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert, we don't know what's going to happen.
This is an alternate reality.
Yes. Well, so here's the thing, you guys, really quick before we start reading. Is anyone starting to feel like it is a little bit an alternate reality because of all the people they talk about that are just like, okay, for example, they keep talking about like the Grimm sisters, and then they talk about Charlotte Perrault. And I'm like, wait, it's Charles Perrault. What is going on? Like, what are they trying to say? But like, they haven't clarified what they're talking about. And I don't know if the author is expecting that people know who Charles Perrault is or don't. And before I explain it, I'm going to ask, like, how many of you know who Charles Perrault is? Just like without anyone saying, without me giving you any context. Do you know that name? And would you know if someone said Charlotte Perrault that they were making a play on Charles Perrault? Yeah, exactly, Amanda. That's what it feels like. You just know Ross Perot. Yeah. No, it's actually spelled differently.
He would have been a great president.
He would have been much better than a lot of the ones we got. That's for darn sure. So Charles Perrault is the person who wrote down a lot of French fairy tales in the same way that the Grimms wrote down a lot of German fairy tales. So like the version of Cinderella that is most known around the world that Disney used as the inspiration for theirs is the Perrault version, among many other tales. But like, I feel like that's not common knowledge. So the fact that the author snuck that in but changed it to Charlotte, I was like, who's Charlotte? Because I've not heard of this person, and having studied these people quite extensively in my life, I was a little bit shocked to see these other names. So I feel like this is supposed to be an alternate reality in some weird way. I don't know. I'm sure if we read, we'll find out. But every time they mention a name like that, I'm like, oh, huh. Those are just slightly twisted versions of the name. All right. Let's go ahead. Do they do it since it's more? I mean, maybe, Nikki. I genuinely don't know. They haven't clarified it all. That's what I'm thinking. But, like, who are these people? It was great, Roxy. I agree. I really loved that book. I've never watched the Gilmore Girls. I didn't know anything about Gilmore Girls except just like what's in popular media or whatever like that. But that memoir was phenomenal. I highly recommend that memoir to literally anyone. She has great takes on everything, and she's lived a very long and fruitful life with a lot of really good knowledge. So yes, to that memoir.
The Gilmore Girls are witches?
No, unrelated. Someone was just saying that they listened to or read a memoir that I had also read, and I loved it. I thought it was great. And everyone's like, oh, are you a Gilmore Girls fan? I'm like, you don't have to be to read that book. It was just a good book on its own. It doesn't matter if you like Gilmore Girls or not. The book is just good. So anyway, let's read today's. All right. May sticks and stones break your bones and serpents stop your heart. A spell to poison requiring fangs and fury. James Juniper has never in her life hoped to see an officer of the law. In her experience, they show up just to hassle your grandmother over a stillborn baby in the next county, and they stay long enough to clink glasses with your daddy, but she hopes for one now. The crowd is pushing closer, their mutters turning to shouts, their shouts turning to shoves. Miss Grace Wiggins and her followers have melted away, leaving the seven suffragists rounded by red-faced men and shouting women. Juniper feels her shoulders bracing against her as the others turn back to back facing the crowd. No, this isn't right. They were supposed to be a slick spectacle, here and gone again, a scandalous headline for tomorrow's paper. They were supposed to be scared of misdemeanor charges and Miss Stone, not a soul-eating shadow. They were supposed to be scared of misdemeanor charges and Miss Stone, not scared of a soul-eating shadow and a vicious crowd. Someone yanks on Juniper's banner and she stumbles. Her damn leg, the one with the puckered scar wrapped around her ankle, silvered and sunken in places where muscle and tendon never quite healed. It twists beneath her and she sprawls sideways, palms skinning against the grit of the street, staff clattering on stone. She hears Inez call her name, but there are people shoving between them and the white cloaks disappear behind bare fists and broad backs. Juniper looks up to see a man looming over her, well, a boy, really, scrawny and unfettered looking, like the leggy weeds that sprout down in dark alleys. His face is speckled with youth. His eyes are empty of promises. His
He's holding an iron pole of her banner. He lifts it almost idly as if he doesn't know what he's about to do, but Juniper knows. She's had too many hands raised against her, too many bruises, too many long nights in the lonely black of a cellar. He's going to hurt her, maybe kill her, because there's no one to stop him, and because he can. Juniper keeps a little flame flickering in her chest, a bitter, hungry thing just waiting for something to burn. But now it blazes high, a towering, terrible thing, a killing thing. She claws at the locket on her chest, pops it open. A pair of curved fangs rattle into her palm and she crushes them. She feels the bones splintering into her flesh. She reaches for her cedar staff, slicks her blood along it, and her staff is tight-grained, oil smooth from all those hours beneath her hand. By all natural laws, the blood ought to beat up along its surface, but Juniper has never cared much for natural laws. The cedar drinks her blood up. Every drop. The boy's watching her, head tilted a little. He's not afraid, but why would he be? She's just a young cripple girl reaching for her cane, and he's a man with knuckles white around a weapon. Both of them know how this story goes. But oh, not this time. This time the girl has the words and the way to change the story. He'll be afraid before the end. Her daddy was. The words wait in her throat like matches waiting to be struck. Juniper thinks that she ought to care about the costs of speaking them. A boy's life, the lives of the fools shouting and shoving nearby, and the 6 other girls who followed her into this mess, who didn't deserve to wind up on the scaffold beside her. But all the caring was beaten and burned out of her, and now she's just hate with a heartbeat. May sticks and stones break your bones. Agnes sees her sister fall. She sees her black feathered hair disappear, her white wing cloak vanish beneath the masses of bodies, and she doesn't move. She stands on a stoop at the edge of St. Mary's of Egypt Avenue, watching the crowd become a mob, become a riot, thinking, well, it's her own damn fault. She has one hand on her belly, a half moon heavy with the promise of a person still becoming already so precious to her. Too precious to risk for the sake of a grown-ass woman who honestly should have known better. Agnes grips the iron railing of the stoop and stares into the heaving crowd, looking for a glimpse of white, some sign of wild, foolish sister. She knew as soon as she saw the note that it would be 9 kinds of trouble, and yet this afternoon, she rattled north on the trolley. She waited outside the fair gates, unwilling to waste a hoarded nickel on a ticket. She heard the distant roar of the crowd. She saw the Votes for Women banner snapping brightly against the sky. She watched her sister limping at the head of the line of women, like a Pied Piper dressed in white, and she felt the swell of something suspiciously like pride in her chest. Agnes trailed behind them. Her feet were flat and aching from the weight of the baby. Maybe she was just half hoping that Juniper would look over her shoulder and see her. Maybe she was just spooked by the soaring mutters around her, the resentful curl of lips and the coil of fingers into fists. New Salem is a well-behaved city, as cities go, but Agnes knows trouble when she sees it. And now, here she is, standing on a high stoop beside the cluster of women with low-cut dresses and rouged cheeks. None of them look especially concerned by the heave and froth of the riot below. Juniper falls. Agnes stays put. That is, until she feels her sister's wrath scorching through the line between them. She knows what Juniper's going to do because she did it once before. She'd been a girl then, of course, full of little girl's venom. She hadn't quite killed him. Maybe she didn't quite want to. Maybe she lacked the will, and the truth was forgotten in the fire that followed. Lots of things could be forgotten back home, looked away from until they were lost altogether. And now Juniper's a grown-ass woman with a grown-ass woman's will, and Agnes knows some fool man is going to die. But it isn't for his sake that Agnes stumbles down the steps and into the riot. Cities forget less easily. She elbows and claws her way through the crowd, one arm braced around her belly. Someone tears at her hair. A shoulder thuds against her jaw. She doesn't stop. There's Juniper, looking up from the street with her black eyes burning, and a boy stands above her, iron bar raised high. Between them, there's a snake, red as blood, red as lips, red as the rich heart of a cedar tree, and it coils around itself, neck arching in a way that makes the boy take a step back. his weapon tumbling from nerveless fingers. Around them, a circle of silence grows as the crowd watches, half hypnotized by the subtle pattern of the snake's scale, the hot smell of witching. The snake's eyes glow like sun through sap, fixed upon the boy, and Agnes knows that it's going to strike. It's going to bury its burrowed fangs into his flesh, and he's going to die screaming. And in a few minutes or days, so will her sister. This city could never suffer such a witch to live for so long. So Agnes does something very, very stupid. She doesn't think as she does it. She doesn't ask herself why she would risk her life, more than even her life. Her everything that matters for her sister who hates her, the sister who she abandoned once before. Agnes steps between the boy and the snake. She meets her sister's eyes. There's a tilted second where she thinks that Juniper won't stop, that she's too full up with fury to care if the serpent strikes her sister or a stranger, so long as someone pays, someone hurts like she does. Juniper's eyes flicker, leaf shadows shifting. She lunges and grabs the red snake by the throat, and it twists her hand, writhing like a live thing instead of a stray scrap of witching, before it goes rigid, and then there's nothing but red cedar staff in her sister's hand. Agnes becomes aware that she hasn't taken a breath in some time. She closes her eyes and sways, tasting the sweet soot of the city air in her throat, feeling the spark still safe inside her, still alive. And then a voice behind her, a boy whose life she just saved. Ungrateful little shit, he shouts, "Witches!" Is she okay? Does she need mama?
I need a diaper change.
Oh, do you need help? No? Okay, let mommy know if you need help.
We're just gonna check,
Okay,
just in case.
that's a good check.
It seems likely, given that she was fine and then she got uncomfortable.
A little grumbly.
Yeah.
But you look mighty cute, sweetie.
Yes. Cutest.
Cutest girl in the world. That's you. Juniper is, well, she doesn't know what she is. Ashes, raked coal, whatever's left when a fire burns itself out. She looks up at her sister, and what is Agnes doing here? How is she standing above Juniper with her eyes steady and cool as creek stones when someone shouts, "Witches!" and hell, which has already broken loose, breaks looser. Yeah, you know what? We only had just one sloth. So far, just one during that time. And then the rest of them were just regular ones. So we've had regular diapers during book club, but only just one blowout. The words swoop through the crowd, bat-like. Glass shatters against stone, screams echo down the alley. Feet rush both toward them and away from them. Juniper lies there, wrung out with witching and will, until she sees hard hands shove against Agnes's back. Agnes falls, braid arching, and Juniper hears the hollow smack of her body against the cobblestone. And then Juniper is scrambling to her feet, swinging her staff in wild circles and shouting, "Get away! Get the hell away from her!" And she loops a hand beneath her sister's arms and hauls her upright. "Come on, Ag, we gotta move." And she claws the white cloak away from her throat and feels it catch and tangle in the bodies behind her. She limps sideways through the roil of the crowd, tugging Agnes behind her. There's a thin moaning coming from somewhere like an animal in pain. But it's only when Agnes pauses to swear that Juniper realizes that the agony is coming from her sister, the riot swirling around them, thickening, rising like floodwater, and Juniper can't find Jenny or Inez or Electa or any of the other girls who followed her into this mess. She can't see any way out, any place to run, and Agnes points to a high stoop where 3 ladies are watching the street through long lashes. One of them is smoking a thinly rolled cigarette. "There!" Juniper slants towards them, flinging elbows, crushing toes beneath her staff. She climbs the short steps, panting. A woman in red silk watches her with no particular expression on her face. She removes the cigarette from her lips. "Are you ladies in trouble?" Juniper checks to see that the red silk woman has a shadow beneath her, and that it seems to possess the correct number of arms and hands. She hitches sideways, desperate smile at her. "Might be. How was it?"
It was actually fun.
"Oh. Are we hungry?"
We have hiccups.
"We have hiccups. Oh, beans." The woman gives her a motherly nod. "Well, then you're in the right place, love." She reaches casually behind her to unlatch the door, knocking it open with one hip. The stale sweetness of perfume and liquor drifts out, and a few jangling notes of ragtime. Juniper dives into the dimeness with her sister's hand in hers. Jane and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Spill it thrice and say it twice, or soon it will get hotter. A spell against burns requiring clear water and a strong will. Interesting. Oh, Hiccupy. Hiccupy. Poor little Hiccups. So sad. The smell reminds James Juniper of a chestnut in bloom, sharp and sour in the back of her mouth. It hangs heavy in the shadowed hallways and grows stronger as they follow the red silk lady up 2 flights of stairs and into a small bedroom. The wallpaper is rich and flowery. The bed is frosted cupcakes of pillows and feather down. This place is awful nice, isn't it, Ag? Juniper offers, and she thinks of her sister's mildewy room in the boarding house. I bet it costs a pretty penny, though. The red silk lady, who introduces herself with a casual flick of her fingers as Miss Florence Pearl, proprietor of Salem's Sin, number 116 of St. Mary's, Egypt Avenue. She cracks a cackle. Cigarette smoke coils from her nose. Sure it does cost a pretty penny. Do we need Mommy? Maybe.
We're hungry.
Maybe we're hungry.
Aw.
Okay. Are we hungry? We'll take an intermission if we're hungry. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go feed her. This is the Once and Future Witches. I'm gonna feed her and we will be right back when she's done eating to finish it. Okay, we'll see you in a few minutes, guys.
I'm sorry. But
It's okay.